Hey everyone, I hope you all are safe and doing good. So in the series of learning Python programming language, in the previous video we have seen what is abstraction, right? Now in this video we will be discussing about abstract classes and abstract method. Basically we will discuss answer of two questions like what are abstract classes and what are abstract methods and why we need these things, why we need abstract class, why we need abstract like methods, why we make our classes abstract classes, and why we create our abstract methods in those classes, right? These things we'll be discussing in this video. Now let me just first tell you one thing. Python by default doesn't support abstraction, right? Like we have like in C++ and Java. So but yeah, we can implement or we can achieve abstraction in Python, but because we have a module ABC, abstract base classes, ABC, abstract base classes. This module we have, and using this module we can achieve abstraction. We can make our classes abstract classes, and we can make method abstract method, right? So you have to import this module, or you can say from this module you have to import ABC class. ABC class, right? Now how you are going to create, how you are going to make abstract classes and abstract method, let's see practically. Okay, so this time I am going to create a new project, right? So click on file, then new project, and the project name is abstraction underscore demo, right? So this project we have abstraction demo. So now right click on this project and create a new file, main.py. Okay, so first we'll see what is abstract class. Let's take first a simple class, normal class example. We have a class, suppose we have a class like bike, right? And in this bike, obviously we are having some method like bike will start, stop, like this. So I have a method start, right? And just here print start with kick. Okay. Now suppose I have another class. We have a class like scooty. So this will also have a method start. I'm having self start, scooty self start, and suppose one more class. Let's have one more class, and that is like car. So three classes we have, and same method they are having start, start, start. But implementation of these methods are different. For bike it start with kick, for scooty self start, for car it start with key, right? And obviously they are having some attribute also like number of tires. So we can have a constructor. Number of tires is equal to, in bike we are having 2 tires. So in scooty also we have some attributes. So like a constructor like init, and we initialize these. Number of tires in scooty also 2. In car also we have like number of tires. In car we have 4, right? One attribute is this. Now every class, or there can be much more classes of this type like truck or many other classes also, right? And everyone is having same method start, and some number of tires and all this kind of thing. Same things every class is having, or the object of every class, right? Actual bike is what? Object. Actual scooty you drive is an object. Actual car you drive is an object. So it's just a class, but actual object. They are having similar kind of properties, or you can say methods or attributes, right? So what we can say here, we can make a blueprint of these classes like a vehicle class, right? And let's suppose create a vehicle class here. So now in vehicle class we have like in constructor we have initialized number of tires is equal to n, one parameter will pass, and one method that is start. And in start it's empty. We are not passing anything. Like how the vehicle is going to be start, because vehicle is a generic term, right? Vehicle can be like what? It's a car, scooty, bike, truck, anything. And they are going to start, they have their own method. Self-start, start with key, start with kick and all, right? So vehicle is a generic class. We can't define this start method. Means we haven't defined this start method here. We haven't implemented this start method here. We have just declared this method here. Okay, now if let's suppose create a object of vehicle class, v is equal to vehicle, and we don't know the type of vehicle, so how many tire you will pass here. And if using object you want to call start, then obviously in start we are not having any implementation. So what is the use of creating object of this vehicle class and calling start method and obviously we don't know number of tires to be passed, right? So it's better to not create object of vehicle class because it is generic class. Object is specific, like a bike. Actual bike is an object. Actual car is an object. Actual scooty is an object, right? So we want to restrict ourselves from creating like object of this vehicle class, or we want to restrict anyone who is working on this project. Maybe it's a big project, right? Or it's an application, or we are working on a software like this, right? So you want to restrict someone or anyone, any programmer or any developer who is using your code or this class, to restrict them from creating object of a particular class. Then make that class abstract class. It's like a blueprint for all the classes. It's like an interface, or it's like some set of rules, right? So how to make this class abstract class? First of all, you have to import, like from ABC module we will import ABC class, right? ABC class, ABC metadata. Like after 3.4 version in Python, this is the new syntax. Import just ABC. But before 3.4 we were supposed to import ABC metadata, and that was different syntax, right? But now just import ABC, right? And which class you want to make abstract? Vehicle class. So just inherit this class from ABC. This is a class C. Here is C in blue circle C. So this is a class from ABC module, right? So now this vehicle class we are importing from ABC, but it's not still now abstract class, because and for a class to be an abstract class, it should have at least one abstract method, but we don't have any abstract method. Yeah, we know abstract method. Basically, let me just tell you, abstract methods are having only declaration, no definition. So maybe you will think this method is having only declaration, no definition, so this is abstract method. But no, in Python by default this method is not considered as abstract method. You have to make it abstract using some decorator, right? And decorator is abstract method. So for that also you have to import from ABC module abstract method, this thing, right? And this method you want to make this method abstract method. So before starting this method you have to use a decorator, that is abstract method, @ and this abstract method, this. Now this method is abstract method, right? So now we cannot create like object of this vehicle class, right? So we can separate out our code. We are just using a small example, that is why everything I have written in the same code. But if you are working on a large project, just separate out your code, like this thing, this my abstract class I'm going to create in a new file. So in my project abstraction demo, let's create a new file and .py, right? So here I'm going to create this abstract class, fine. Maybe you think like if you do not use C here, now abstract class is what? Which is having at least one or more abstract method. It can have many more abstract methods, 1, 2, 3, 4, but at least it should have one. If there is no abstract method, then that is not an abstract class, right? And we cannot instantiate abstract class. It means what? We cannot create object of abstract class. Suppose you want to create object v is equal to vehicle. I want to create object of this class, right? Let's run this. See, cannot instantiate abstract class vehicle with abstract method start. We cannot create object of an abstract class, right? But if you remove this decorator, if, let's run this. Now you can create object, but it will give another, you can say error type, error missing one required positional argument. So you have to pass here n number of tires, like suppose 2. Let's run this. See, there is no error. So you are able to create abstract, the method, you can say object of abstract class, because this is not abstract class. Although you have inherited this class from ABC, right? That is from ABC module, abstract base classes module, but still there is no abstract method. That is why it is not an abstract class. So you have to make at least one method abstract. Now this class is abstract class, right? Then can be, now second point is what? There can be normal method as well in this abstract class, or you can say concrete method. Means normal method means they are having their definition, right? So if I define a function here like maybe a method we are having display and hi, I am calling from vehicle class. Any method you can have. We have display method. So one method is abstract method and one method we have concrete method, any normal method. So our abstract class can have both abstract method as well as concrete method, or you can say normal method. Those methods which are having implementation, those are concrete methods, right? And suppose I am having one more file and the name of that file is main.py. Okay, we already have main.py. So main underscore abstract.py. Now, okay, first of all, we are going to inherit these classes from our vehicle class, right? But see, there is no, you can say that vehicle class here. See, value error and overflow, that is it. So first of all, you have to import vehicle class. So from the class name is from abstract underscore class, you have to import vehicle class, right? And then here, now see, classes vehicle class from abstract class, this thing. So we are going to import all these classes from vehicle class, right? Okay, now they are having their own definition of this start function by every class, and abstract class we don't have any implementation, right? So rather than this, we can do what? We can call this one super dot init and just pass n, one parameter, because in super classes, vehicle class, we are having constructor. So we can just call this constructor here super dot init, right? Or if you don't want to call, then simply you can write down here like comma n and is equal to n. You can define your own init, own constructor, right? Like one more thing I want to specify here, number of tire, as well as I want to specify for my bike class some other attribute you can also add, right? Like number of tire, as well as I want to pass color. Self.color is equal to color. That is also fine. So same for these, we can call init constructor of super class. Like in car, if I want to specify n, as well as I want to specify like number of gears, right? Let's take a parameter x and let's take self dot number of gears is equal to how many gears? 5 or 6? 5 and 1 is back rear. So let's suppose total 6 number of gears 6, right? In main class, we are going to create object of these classes and we are going to call start function. So from abstraction demo, from this class you have to import first all the classes bike, scooty, and from main we are going to import all the classes. So it's start. Now create object of suppose bike class, and you have to pass one parameter, that is number of tires, and see, you can see n and color. So let's pass the color as maybe like black, right? And using this object bike we are going to call start. So let's run this one and see, start with kick, right? So now see, if you look at this abstract class, then the methods are having no implementation, means basically we are hiding. We are just showing the functionality, like obviously every vehicle is going to start, but we are hiding how it is going to start, right? And every class which is inheriting this vehicle class give their own implementation of the abstract method, and it is compulsory for every subclass of vehicle class to implement the abstract method. If suppose in scooty I don't implement this start method, right? So now let's create in main class, let's create object of scooty, right? And scooty, let's pass number of tires 2, and with the help of object I want to call start. So you are not able to create like object of this scooty. Let's run this. See, cannot instantiate abstract class scooty with abstract method start. See, scooty is now abstract class. So if you are importing, if you are inheriting a class from an abstract class, then two choices you have. Either you have to implement all the abstract methods, right? Otherwise make the subclass as an abstract class. Now scooty is also an abstract class. Okay, it's fine. But if you want that scooty should not be an abstract class, you have to define the abstract method here, right? Now it will run. Let's run this. See, start with kick and self start. For scooty is self start, right? So now in this, see, we are just calling the method start, right? We don't know the implementation of start method, and we don't need to know the implementation of start method, right? For bike and for scooty, you just need to know the function name, or maybe if any parameter to be passed, and that obviously we can see from the abstract class, right? So implementation we are hiding. We are just showing the functionality, that is start. There is no implementation of the start method. So we are hiding basically the implementation detail, that is abstraction, right? Now why we are creating this, abstract class, and we are just defining an abstract method here, start, because we don't need to create vehicle class and directly we can create these classes and start with kick and define the start method in these classes. So what is the need of this abstract class, right? Okay, the problem is, see, if you are working on a project which are having many classes and every class is having same method, like here start method, right? So if you don't define any rule, then every class maybe define their own name of that method, like start underscore, maybe like in bike, in this I'm going to define this method start underscore bike, or start underscore s, or car underscore start. So every class is defining that method, having their own name, and like this, number of parameter, their own parameter, right? But obviously method is same, start, so it's better to enforce some structure, some rules, some blueprint, right? Like every class is having this method, the name is this, and every class is going to implement this method. If you want to use my vehicle class, if you want to make a subclass from my vehicle class, right? So if you want to define some rule, like if you want to come in my class, there are some rules. You have to be on time, right? And second thing, you have to come with at least one notebook and one pen, right? These are some rules. So I have defined rules for my class, right? So like this also, we can define some specific rules, and every subclass has to follow those rules. And it's completely fine to not use abstract classes and abstract method. Without this also we can implement, we can create a project, or we can write down our program. But when we are dealing with large software, large project, in that case it is compulsory. Like it's a requirement basically to implement abstract classes, to implement abstraction, to use abstract methods and all, right? So maybe if you are not getting the use of this thing, it's fine. You just have some idea. You have to be clear, like what is abstract class, what is abstract method, the rules and all, right? Maybe when you will be working on a project, then definitely when you will use this in real time, right, then definitely you will get the use of this thing. Fine. So like here, we don't know the implementation of the start method, but we are getting the result, right, from this main file only, right? Like this also, we use many, like if you are working on list, there are many inbuilt functions like reverse a list, sort a list, right, append, that we have discussed. Like randint function also, we have to generate a random number. Fine. So you just, if you are having a list, you just use that function, like maybe you are using reverse, and it is going to reverse the list. You don't know the implementation, how it is going to reverse the list, right? So that implementation is hidden from you. So that is beauty of abstraction. Okay. So it is going to make the life of other developers easy. You can use those inbuilt functions also, right? So that is, you can say, it's a type of abstraction only. Fine. So in brief, if I say what is abstract class, a class having one or more abstract method is known as abstract class. And abstract class cannot be instantiated. No object can be created from abstract class, right? An abstract class can have abstract method as well as normal method, or you can say concrete method, right? We can say like a class derived from ABC class, which belongs to ABC module, is known as abstract class, right? And what is abstract method? A method which has only declaration, no implementation. That is abstract method, right? You have to use a decorator at that abstract method to make a method abstract method, right? And abstract method in a base class. Obviously, this vehicle is like a base class. Every other class is subclass of vehicle class, right? Like this bike, scooty, these are subclasses of vehicle class. So this you can say abstract method in the base classes just show the functionalities. See, it is showing the functionalities start, right? But many functionalities we can show, many abstract method we can use. Just show the functionalities, and those functionalities should be implemented by the subclasses, right? If any other class wants to use my vehicle class, then that class must have to implement this start method. Otherwise, that subclass also will be considered as abstract class. So the subclasses can have implementation of the abstract method according to their need. Every subclass can have its own implementation, right? And see, this display is not an abstract method. So if you want to access this display also, then also we can do with the help of like scooty object, scooty dot display. So it will run and it will, I am calling from vehicle class, right? We are calling this display of this class, abstract class, using scooty object. Or see, if you want to override, see, this is basically what? Nothing but method overriding. Means in this class, in base class, this vehicle is base class, we are having a method start, and we are just overriding this method according to our requirement in the subclasses, right? Overriding means we are giving our own definition of this method, right? So same for display also, like I want to print the color of the bike, so dot self dot color, right? And with the help of bike now just call display. Let's comment this out and let's run this. See now, start with kick and my color is black. So this display we are calling from this one. My color is self.color black because we are passing one more argument here, that is color, in the constructor. And this number of tire, it is inheriting from the superclass. Superclass is vehicle class, right? So like this. But it is not compulsory for all the subclasses to implement this display function. See, in Scooty we are not having any display function. In car also we are not having a display function. What display is not an abstract method. If there is an abstract method in the base class, then it is compulsory for the subclasses of that base class to implement that abstract method, right? So I guess that's it. So now I hope it's clear to you guys what is abstraction, what is abstract class, what is abstract method, and why we need abstraction, why we need abstract classes and abstract methods. In the next video, we'll see encapsulation. So now we'll see you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.